right, you're on.
All right, so this week, it's a very kind of, I would say, frustrating week. Very just inconsistent with my trading, as you can see. $200 day, 1K days, $70 loss, and this $500 loss. I guess none of these losses are too extreme because the biggest loss, as you can see, is 559 day, and that's potentially just one day of work,
Mm.
which is not too bad. Like that should be where your max losses should be, but just the fact that I wasn't consistent in these other days, it brought down my overall P&L, and it's kind of frustrating. But I mean, that's kind of the art of trading, and I believe that is just these are the weeks that kind of make you better as a trader, because it's been a while since I've actually had first red day. Looking back on I could go on my trader view. Um, you could see 30 days. See, the last real red day was back in uh 12/8. So it's
That's real good.
been a good little minute, and it's fine. Yeah, it's been a streak where I finally have had this first red day, and these are the moments where I think back and I reflect. What did I do to get that first red day, and how can I do better? That first red day happened, and when it came down to it, really the most important day to me is this red day right here. So if I go into those charts, just thinking about it. So what happened on this day? We had BSRC, OZSC, INTEQ, ASTI, ASTI. So if I dive into those charts, boom. All right, straight out the back, we get this panic dip buy right here. And normally when I panic dip buy, I'm reading off the level two, and I'm entering in right on this big volume candle. And I actually got a perfect fill, well, which I thought was perfect at 12.9, right at this bottomish. And then we down tick, right? We down tick, but then as soon we hold that 12.5 level. And my risk originally, the most that I could lose is 12.3. But the point of a panic dip buy is what I expect. When I do dip buys, as soon as I buy, I want it immediately working against me, because I'm not trying to add into a loser of a panic dip buy, which I've gotten into this week, and that's kind of the reason my overall P&L has been a bit smaller. But right here in that 12.9, I had to cut right here no matter what, because if this 12.5, let's say this 12.5 didn't hold, and then it flushed down all the way to 11 or something, then I'll be looking dumb. So that's a good loss cut in my opinion. Yeah, you lose, but that's just a part of the game. Then we had OZSC. This was a perfect play, but I did not take advantage of it at all. The dip buys, I will say, have been harder, but this play, I just dropped the ball on it. Um, just yeah, completely just dropped the ball on it. So we got this panic dip buy. We base kind of from up here, and we finally get a 30 crack, which is this line right here at 272. I thought I saw the level two start turning at 0.0252. Uh, yeah, 0.0252, but it didn't. And because I didn't time the bottom, as you see, the bottom was actually at 0.023. I'm in a position where I'm potentially risking more than 4% of my account, because I'm in at 252. I know it bouncing to bounce strong, but I'm normally, when I'm in these panic dip buys, I want to be very very close to the bottom. The most I want to probably get is like 2.4. So if I do lose, I'm only losing that 0.023, because that's where the risk is. But at this that 0.0252 entry, I'm risking way too much, risking more than 10% or right at 10% on the entry. So on this one, I couldn't really see my whole pan through, which was it's basically a smaller size win, and I managed to get a little win out of it, selling it at 0.0267 or 0.0266. But this should have easily been over a 10% gain, something where it should have been at least for a dollar gain, it should have been at least maybe 600 to 700, but it ended up being 300, and that's what another thing that really cut down my day. And then also not recognizing this other opportunity, seeing right here, this little niche right here, we created that lower high because it did not bounce as high as it should from just this huge panic. Because when it went under 30, probably went under 40, right around here, and then from 40 it bounced. But right here, it created a lower high. You could have risked off here, and I did not take advantage of that at all. Just missed it. So a lot of missed opportunities this week, and just being wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong, but uh, it is good to just reflect on your actions and uh, see what you can do to get better. So then the next play I had, this is probably the worst trade that I took, INTEQ. And when I thought about this trade, like in retrospect, I'm thinking, like, Marquez, why did you even get into this? So INTEQ, the reason I played it was because on the daily chart, you see we had getting this kind of got a little breakout over this level at the time. And I was watching into the afternoon, but I just want you guys to look at the intraday chart and see what stocks you shouldn't play. There's big major things of why you should not play this stock. Okay, on the 1 minute candle, you see how my afternoon position, so I try to take them around 130-ish. So right around here-ish. But regardless of the fact, if you look at this, what do I see? I see a nasty spread. It was liquid in the morning, right? But then throughout the midday, it completely lost its liquidity, right? Because we're getting just ticks from here, ticks from there, just random ticks everywhere, going down, up. It's not a predictable stock at this point. But I was almost, in a sense, trying to force a trade because I was just like, maybe in my head, I was thinking, maybe if, you look at the 5 minute, there's a trade there. I pulled up the 5 minute, and then that's how I got convicted inside the trade. And you should never want to convince yourself that this could be a trade. You want to let the trade come to you. Just through experience and screen time, you should know what a good trade is because the minute chart will look very, very clear. There won't be any spaces and gaps in between. There'll probably be some news behind it. Look at even with the volume that this traded, you see how like the lack of volume. If this was to break out, it needs to at least be over 5 mil, 9 mil, and it needed to be above that, like way before 130, to show that it was people were really, really attracted in it. And none of the signs was really there in the stock. So, and one good thing I did do was, I entered in I added some at 87, but I cut at 85. So right here before, when I really noticed that it was just a dumb play. And then we're gonna go into ASTI, which was another just bonehead mistake. As you can see, I lost 10% on this one, and basically a $400 loss. $300 position, which is ridiculous. That's poor risk management. That's inexcusable. That's not good trading at all. That's getting sloppy. And you can see it kind of just from the couple of days I was sloppy before because I took a 20% loss and I was just able to cover it back up. So today it just came to bite me in the butt. See, it was 20 and then 10, and that's one of my biggest things. I want to be able to, really keep down on my risk or like cut down on the losers, because if I cut down on losers when I do win, the wins will really add up because I don't want. I'm trying to get my wins to be over 10%, my losses to keep them within 5. But probably throughout the month, why do I have a 22% loss? Why do I have a 10% loss? Why do I have three big losses that are just inexcusable? That is showing me that my risk management is really really slacking, and that has to be fixed because that's not good trading. Like okay, that's a red flag to me that okay things could really start slipping if you continue this. Don't add to no losers anymore just because you think you might be right. Just cut no matter what. You can always re-enter later if it does confirm. But on ATSI in particular, if I go into that chart, big red flag that I did. Okay, I always say I want to enter in these positions after host 130, right?
Hmm.
130 is a good time to enter. But I enter in at 125. That is not 130. Just follow your rules, Raquez. Your rules protect you. And earning my first big full size was my one thing that I really you know just was another sign that I should was another sign that I saw that just like okay, why did you do that? Looking back in hindsight, I entered my full size position basically at 10.0126. Then I added in my position at 0.017 because I'm just like, maybe it'll bounce. And once it didn't bounce off of this 1027 and I saw that it couldn't break 0.012 and I didn't even sell any at 0.012, I had to cut at the bottom of this panic pretty much at 0.0113, and I took that big of a loss, and that was another inexcusable loss. And you can see that it did end up actually bouncing, but my freaking just waiting to 130, I would have had a better, better risk entry because I saw that this was clearly important to the important level where it had just consolidated all day, and then it had support under here. So getting entering in somewhere where around here was the ideal entry spot because yeah, it due for a bounce because especially because it faded all day and then boom, got a little uptick. I mean, got a little bounce, but because I was impatient and not sticking to my rules and got away from what I do as a trader, took that loss. And that's just something to note. Again, your rules are there to protect you. The undisciplined people end up getting killed.
Right.
Uh, let me talk about some other stuff. Let's see. All right, well, let's talk about the positive. Okay, the one positive note I could say is on Wednesday I had my first 1K day
Nice.
right here, which was really cool. And on that day, 13th, I really didn't. I feel like I didn't do anything special. It was just just taking opportunities at the time. In the morning there was a play on OZSC, and it was just a quick gain. I actually sold this position too early, which kind of still frustrated me. But it's just another testament that you're gonna make so many mistakes in trading. But if
Hmm.
you trade with perfect intentions, you'll find yourself, being profitable. And that's what we all really want to, be at a point where we don't have to work a job anymore. Can make a whole living just from trading. And these little small gains, they do add up if you trade with perfect intentions.
Exactly. Right.
Uh, so took that. You see, I had a couple losses on the day, but you see they were manageable.
Right.
54, 77. And then they had my big win on TLSS, which was just pretty much a patience play. This was one of those things where this could have been easily a winner, just like this could have been easy. Yeah, this was a winner, but ASTI could have easily been the same type of trade as this if I was to be patient. But regardless, if I go into that chart on the 13th, so This one was really really cool because it was almost like this was when I'm talking about a gimme. This is what I think of when I say a gimme chart. Okay, we get this uptrend all day. TLSS. What do we know about TLSS? Okay, on the 13th, we know that TLSS is a former runner. Check, because we check the history of the chart. We see, boom, back in the summertime, it had this big, crazy, crazy run. So it might run again because other traders remember this stock. We get that consolidation from the previous day, which is another great sign to me. It didn't really do much that previous day, so this day it was bound to, really give us a big, big extension. Okay, and we get nothing but good consolidation. We get great, great risk levels to risk off of. You can see that this bottom tick was very, very important around this level because it popped up with significant volume at 1251. But then we get nothing but just sideways consolidation, and we get a pop over that 0.075, and that is where I believe I entered 0.0751. Yep, right into here, right into here. And what's cool about these plays is you can enter right here at that 7-1 level, and I was basically risking that 0.073, which in retrospect, it's saying that I was only risking $70 to make $600, and that's what I think of as just a very effective and efficient trade. And my position side on the trade was only 2.8K. So
Wow.
that's trading for real.
That's you squeezed
So
that limit. You got
I really
almost
did.
got every drop out of it. That was really good.
I did. I really did work this one. Now, that's why I told you this was my best trade. I was so happy about this one. But yeah, I got in at 0.0751. Entered, didn't sell at any at my 10 mark, which I probably should have done that in hindsight, just thinking, okay, when I'm up above 10%, you should sell. But this stock had just given me nothing but good signs and didn't really give me a reason to sell because it pretty much, as soon as I made it, not too long after, it made a new high a day, which was that's a key sign when you're long on a stock in the afternoon. You want to see that it's making new highs. And because it made new highs so early, it gave me the conviction that, okay, let me hold on to the stock and let me follow my game plan and completely sell off of the time of day. And I knew just from statistics, just from tracking data, like normally the best time of day to sell or where the stocks make, their final peak for their higher day is around 3:30 p.m. So that was my plan. Just to sell around 3:30, or if it pops over 20%, which as soon as it popped over 20%, it just happened to be right around 3:30, and boom, I sold right into this top tick, which was cool because I did end up, selling some. I didn't completely top ticket at 0.093, but I sold within this range, that's still a top tick to me. And it was cool because it was a patience play, which is something I'm not used to, but it's showing me signs of growth as a trader and showing me that, okay, you can make money in dip buys, you can make money in afternoon high day breaks, and those are two skills that I have in my bag now, especially um, two confident skills that I have in my bag now, and it just gives me more confidence as a trader. But that's pretty much it. Just going into next week, I'm trying to stay really, really focused. Um, the, really focusing in on just cutting my losses because these two losses, 20 and 10%, that's inexcusable. Like, why did I lose 20% on $1,000 position? That that kind of pisses me off in a sense. Like the wins, I know that they will come. The wins will come, but the losses are something that you can control. And
Exactly.
if you don't control your losses, then you're not going to be profitable, and that's uh that's just something that's I've been just really thinking about going into this weekend and headed into next week.
No, I agree with you 100% because sometimes the best offense is a better defense. So
As defense, yeah, I gotta be like Floyd.
yeah, share one. Just let me know whenever you can see my screen.
All right, I'm here.
All right. So starting off, um, I did a lot better job as far as getting my trades down. I think what last week I was at like 60, like 66 or something like that.
You see, as soon as you got your trades down, your P&L went up.
Yeah. So
That's all
definitely,
you needed to do, bro.
yeah. So definitely less is more. My win rate, that's actually the lowest, not the lowest it's ever been, but it is pretty low compared to um, normal for me. And the reason being is I am taking a lot more longs. I think I took more longs than I did shorts. This week I finished up the week $2,547.42. Very disappointed in Friday as well as Tuesday. Even though Friday was a win, $688. Um, it's the way that I traded. So I'm gonna start off with the two trades that I botched. Thought this was already loaded. First one is it was a dip buy on BTCS. So BTCS, it's a Bitcoin stock, and as soon as this loads up, let's see if I could see if TradeView have it uploaded. There it is right here. Do the 1 minute on it. Get large. So this was just a panic dip buy. So the stock, I missed a short on it because I was shorting another stock. So you have this perfect panic besides this little green wick right here. It bounced. So immediately after it bounced, I decided to go long right here. And like as soon as I went long and I saw I started doing this little sideways action right there at like 220, I immediately put in my order to sell at 220. So I'm thinking my order is already, executed because the 220 bid was there for maybe about like 2 minutes, and I put my order in. Nothing got filled. So as I was going to my next screen on my chart, I noticed that my position was still open. So immediately I had to hurry up and sell, and of course, I sold right at the bottom of the second bounce at 210, and immediately this, have a 50 cents
Nice.
bounce. Yeah.
Yep.
So end up losing $400 on there. Um, due to I guess I'll call it slippage, but to me that was avoidable because I had 3,003 I think 3,300 shares at 222 average. and I was just trying to get out the position and lose maybe $60, a little over $60. But instead, that $60 ended up turning to like over $400. And to add insult to injuries, the play ended up working out. So this run up right here would have been way over $1,000 had it decided to work when it did. Probably I would have just got out 10, 20 cents. I probably wouldn't have made it all the way up here, but I for sure would have at least made it to like 40 cents. Um, so that play didn't work out. So that was one of my worst trades this week. The second one would be these two right here. Actually,
Now your
this.
losses are down too, bro. Your biggest loss was 400 this week.
Yeah,
It's great.
my biggest loss was 400 this week.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's nice, bro.
but I'm trying to keep it,
Even
even lower.
lower than that.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
lower.
get into the 200s.
I already went over that last week. There was I took like two $300 losses on Tuesday, and it was just like back to back. All right, it's DMGGF. DMGGF. Let me just clean this up a little bit. I'm just trying out this new thing with the VWAP. All right, so with this, on Tuesday, Bitcoin was down, and this stock it was, matter of fact, it's not showing. I don't think for this particular play, it actually went red on the day. And one of the things that I do like to play is if a stock goes red, I do like to just short the weakness. I'm trying to figure out where is it at on this chart. It was on this particular day, so it had this big gap down. So this was the previous close, and the stock gap down huge. So on the bounce, I tried to short it. I think I tried to short it like somewhere over here. Then immediately the stock started ripping on me, and instantly, and this was just right out the gate as soon as the market opened. Took a quick loss, $300, and the same thing for HTVGF, I think. All right, same thing for this. It did the same exact way. It went red, then immediately it went right back, started ripping up on me. Same exact pattern. So I lost $600. Then I did some stupid stuff as well. Overall for Tuesday, I was down at least $1,200. Like on Tuesday, I was down $1,200. The way that I was able to get get that dollar amount down was just playing the ascending triangle pattern. Um, Pretty much that's what I did. I just took the morning off. And I said to myself, I go back in the afternoon just to see if there's any plays, and sure enough, it was just like plays after plays. Let me see what date was Tuesday. What was the 12th?
I'm trying to learn that pattern. I'm not gonna lie to you. You got
It,
to show me what scanner you use to find it.
yeah, it's really for those plays. It just you're just looking for what stock is up on the day. So no special scanners, like whatever stock that's up on the day. And for some reason, right around like 12:30 and up, those
On
are,
Nasdaq.
yeah, on Nasdaq. Those are the times that these patterns arise. So I was just taking, and a lot of them too. I left a lot of money on the table, like playing it, because I was playing the P&L game. I'm down 1,200 on the day. I need to chip this away. So as
Yeah,
soon as I'm up on one, like up 10,
you're
20
just cutting.
cents, yeah, and so many of them could have been easily, 80 cents, a dollar win had I just been patient with it. Um, but since I was down 1,200, I didn't have time to be patient on any of them. So pretty matter of fact, let me. Oh, HUTMF. That was a pretty good trade. I made 654 on it, and that was on Tuesday as well, and that helped me out. So this was another Bitcoin play. All right. So this is what I saw on this stock. Let's see if I could get the 1 minute. All right. So it was on this day. So the stock flushed out, and I actually took a loss on this as well in the morning as well too, because it flushed out, took a short position here. It bounced, ended up having to cut it like right around here. So throughout the whole day, and this actually played the ascending triangle as well too. I don't know how well it works on OTC, but for this particular instant, it did. So I used that to my advantage. And one thing about OTCs as well too that I like, whenever it starts doing a little grinding action, and then the volume starts to die down a little bit. For me, as long as if
And
it,
it still stands sideways.
yeah, as long as if it holds like key levels, I would take a stab at it. And I think I took a stab at it like right around here, because as soon as I took it, like it immediately started to work. Because I actually I try to buy 4,000 shares here. 4,000 shares at I think it was like 523, 523, 524 ish. I only got filled 1,800, and immediately started work. I had the opportunity just to, go up on the bid, but I didn't. Eventually, I end up adding 2 more 100 shares, like after it broke the high of days, um, and it just bumped up my average just by a penny. And from there, I just rode the train and end up selling, taking some off in pieces over here, took some off again over here, then took the rest off over here, because my target was to sell all of that at this level, because I saw this here was support. So now support becomes resistance. So as soon as I saw that it got to, you know, over here, I was like, yep, let me just get out the rest. So I did. So that was a pretty good patient win for me, because normally I would have just taken 10 cents. But since on Tuesday I was down so much, for this particular instinct, and also Bitcoin was going up too. So like I like playing the sector plays whenever there's a underlining stock or underlining asset that is controlling it, because that gives me a lot more confidence, because Bitcoin was just still ramping up, and playing these sector plays, you could follow what Bitcoin is doing. So that's what I was just pretty much doing for the rest of the day until it got to right around here, and I knew, to get out the rest of my shares. Um, so that was one of the. Then also we had LKNCY. That probably was one of my best short this week. LKNCY.
Be interesting if that thing can break out.
For LKNCY.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely would be. Um, and this was like perfect in the morning, like perfect opportunity. I even seen a dip buy opportunity, but I was just so stoked at the trade. With this, I made 1,300 on it. So immediately, I had this when I was setting my watch list. I saw that this stock is it just been ramping up. Had one, two, three. Well, it's still a green day here. Just and I knew resistance was right around here. So I was willing to play this one or two ways. I was willing to play this for a continuation on a breakout, or if it goes below green to red, which is the prior day's close, I was willing to short it. So immediately once the market opened, I saw this and it was like at 10:05. The bid was at 10:05, and the ask was at like 10:10. So I waited because sometimes this would have like a delayed reaction, and next thing you know, it just spiked to you in the morning. So I wanted to just wait and see how this thing was reacting. So immediately, maybe like 30 seconds later, the 10:05 got taken out, and I saw 10:01 was just sitting there on the bid side, and a lot of people were just smacking 10:01, and it wasn't budging. So like I just kept seeing print after print after print. I'm like, yo, this is not gonna hold. And I mean, it was like big orders were coming in. So I slapped 10:01, got filled, and immediately after I got filled, you get this panic. So immediately I'm up like maybe like $600, maybe like $400 on this play. So I'm just scaling out. So I took partial covers here because they had this little bounce that I thought. Then it just kept dumping, and I'm just scaling out along the way. Like I'm trying to input my order, and the bid is skipping down some more. So I'm like, oh crap. So as soon as it got to $9, a lot of sales were coming in. It was like one of the cleanest turn that I've seen because it actually gave you time to be able to get in. $9. There was one market maker at $9, and now just getting hit. Nothing was happening, and you seen two, three, four, five market makers, and people were still selling. I don't know if this was retail not understanding what was going on, but as soon as I saw that, I just covered the rest of my shares at 9:01. Then maybe another 30 seconds later, you have this big spike. Like it gave me opportunity to get,
60% bounce. I
yeah,
mean, 60-cent bounce.
yeah, 60 cents, yeah. It because as soon as the 9:01 was lifted off, like immediately this skip of a candle, um, it skipped the candle. Then the next one, it was like at 9:30 something, and it just kept going up. Like I kicked myself because I was so focused in the moment of like, dang, like yo, I just made $1,300, just that quick because literally I made that in
Yeah.
the span of 3 minutes within the market opening. And mind you, at this time I was up like $1,600 altogether on the day, and that's why I say like Friday I could have did a lot better, for only bringing $688 when I was up 1,600. That's unacceptable. You're giving, I'm giving way back too
Giving way
much.
too much back.
Yeah, I know this didn't help, and this right here didn't help because this is when I decided to come back after I said I was done trading for the day. Decided to come back and messed around and lost two more hundred. So definitely, I do see more areas for me to improve in. Not satisfied with how I ended the week off. I think Monday I did a pretty good job. Because there wasn't any ideal setups, but I just took what the market gave me, didn't overtrade, um, and I just took what the market gave me. Same thing uh, on the 14th as well, on Thursday. Took what the market gave me. Wasn't greedy. Wasn't looking for trades. Whatever was coming. But these 2 days, I definitely got to do better. Like if I'm up that much, I need to cut down my
There
sizes.
has to be some. Yeah, just size down throughout the day.
Yeah, just if I'm gonna trade more, just size down because losing $1,000 out of 1,600. I mean, that's poor execution.
Yeah, sure.
But so far, the month it is still panning out. We're gonna have a holiday on Monday, so we're gonna have only 4 days next week.
Oh, I didn't even. I'm glad you said something. I didn't even know.
Oh yeah,
Martin Luther King Day.
yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr.
But that's pretty much all I got with the setups. But all the other trades that I've taken, um, I guess I could talk about the ascending triangle before I go a little bit more in detail. Um, it was CARV. Like even though this was like, I'm still pissed off about this trade. So CARV, I made $249 off of it, and I think for me, I just need to find like a balance of patience and over patience. And this is where I took my entry at, because I still got it drawn on the chart. All right, so one thing that I look for when I'm playing the ascending triangle is initially the stock have the first spike. After the first spike, I like to see consolidation. But with the consolidation, I like to see the volume itself start to reduce, but it's still holding its gain. Those are the factors that I look for. Once I see that, I draw my lines, and this was looking so good on the 5 minute chart. So on the 5 minute chart, this is exactly how it looks. So as soon as it popped up here, this was the trigger. Like this igniting candle right here, this is the trigger that you need to get in. So it popped up. I chased it a little bit, so I got in at 819 with 1,000 shares. This
What
stock,
time is that? 1:30,
yep, it's around 140.
40.
Yeah, 140. Yeah.
Okay.
So and this is the igniting candle that signals, okay, this is your entry because now it just broke this wedge here. So the trend is pointing on the upside. So that's why like a lot of time my entries it'd be spot on. I'm just waiting for the signal here. So I got in at 819. Then afterwards, you have 5, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this stock is just holding it. As long as this stock holds at least half of this candle, I could be patient with it. And besides, my risk would really be sometimes I put my risk down to like 805. just the bottom part of the candle, of the igniting candle, or I could put it below this
The
ascending,
range.
yeah, below the range right here. So you get the, depending of, if you chased a little bit or if you got in close, you could use this tightly, or you could, give it some wiggle room. So you have this spike here. So I took half off on this first spike here, had my order set in the remaining shares to get out at 880. As this stock started spiking, I immediately moved my order thinking like, oh man, I'm thinking home run. At this point in time, I was up maybe like, I think I was up close to about like six or seven hundred, like $700 that I was up right here. And had I just kept my order where I put it at the 880 mark, I would have got filled. But then immediately you get this slam down, and instead of me still taking, at this point, this may would have been like a $500 win. I'm like, nah, let me just be even more patient. And of course, you get this dump, and I have to hurry up and get out the rest of my shares at eight. I think I got out like 830 something. So
Shoot, can you? My bad. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna just ask. Can you explain? Like, said you just look for stocks that are up on a day,
Yeah,
but what does that exactly mean? Like, are you just scanning for big percent gainers? Because if you scan for big percent gainers, there's gonna be all types of stocks that are gonna just be up on a day. But you see, that's up on a day, but it's still like lacking volume in a sense. So what like how do you actually pinpoint the place, pinpoint the best setups?
the way that I do it, as long as the trend, I guess I don't have VWAP on here. Like the stock, it's above VWAP. So
But you look no with your scanner though. Like I just want to see your scanner requirements.
okay, yeah, it's my
Okay.
scanner requirement. It's 1 cent to $20. At least 10% on the day. 3 million in volume.
So just that, and
Yeah,
then but you see how you get all that stuff though.
right.
You
But,
go through all of those, or do you
I'll do this. I'll do percentage, and I'll look at it. And the penny is mainly for OTC stocks.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So mainly on Nasdaq, you're looking for above $1.
yeah, above a dollar. So for Nasdaq, I'm looking for above a dollar. So like this right, or I would still look at it. This right here, CHRA. Like let's say this was like the middle of the day. I'll look at CHRA and see how does the chart, because mainly it's the chart for me. Like how does the chart work? So if I look at it right here and I see this downtrend, this is not a play that I would be interested in, because now I'll just be
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
against the trend. So I kind of use a little bit of the MIC process with it. MIC process dictate you're looking for the strong stocks, the stocks that's above VWAP, the stock that is, directionally you're seeing that is going up, versus a stock like this is
Okay.
just going down. I
Gradually
mean,
then trending.
yeah, I mean, you would have
I
like
mean, that's
little,
still a sign, though. This is a sign just to watch it, keep it on radar, because
yeah,
it's a due for a bounce eventually.
right, yeah. So when the first week when I was trying to play stocks like this, I didn't do too well.
Hmm.
So that's the whole reason now week two, um, I'm looking at them. I'm looking at for stocks that's trending upwards. Um, so there was another one that worked out perfect. Oh, BI at the end, BIOC, I think. No,
But
which
you see how these are kind of like the stocks you're looking at. They aren't the most volatile ones, but they have the trend.
like
That's what I'm trying to like trying to pick at. Yeah,
like
they
looking
lack in volume, but yeah.
Yeah, this definitely lacking volume, but for me though, like volume is not what's really gonna
Yeah, I
dictate
know
it.
you just looking. You're looking for that trend in
Yeah,
that chart.
I'm looking for the trend on the chart. I mean, the more volume that it have, definitely the better. Um, hey, there was this stock that ran like right at the very end. I think it was Ogen or something like that. No. Let me change this to. Oops. ONTX. Okay. ONTX, like before it had this run. So this is what I'm looking for. So once I see something like this, like you see all this volume, then you see the decrease in volume right here, and it's still holding up. This is where I start to draw the trend line, and it actually did it twice. And this would be like almost like an adjusting line, because let's say if you put it in right here, and you have this igniting. Well, I guess it'll be right
Do
here.
you find these ascending triangles every single day too? Like, does
So,
one happen every single day?
yeah, it happens every single day.
That's something that's what I need in my bag, bro.
Yeah, it happened. Yeah, because I was so surprised of how it really turned my day around, and I was just taking singles with him. Um,
Yeah, of course.
but let's say if you were looking at it from right around here, from this point on the chart. Okay, you take an entry here, and your stop could be right here at 70 74. So that's 2 cents risk, essentially. So the stock eventually it picks up steam, then because the main thing about it is the volume. Like once you start seeing you have this big ramp up, then the volume descends like it does right here. That's the big point. Um,
That's the key that you're looking at.
yeah,
Volume pick up, then decrease.
yep. Because if it has big volume, then I'm not gonna be interested in it. And that also, like when you're looking at the charts, that's how it eliminate a lot of the noise as well too. Because sometimes
When
you'll
you
see,
said when it has big volume, you're gonna be not interested in it.
well, if it, let's say it has a big
If
spike,
that volume just keep going.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's still big volume like in between this area, then that wouldn't be something I'm
you want to
interested in.
see it. You want to see it match where it was like during the mid like 11 to 12 ish range.
Exactly. Yep.
Still hold. Yeah,
If
still
it
hold. Okay.
exactly if it's still holding on low volume, then that's letting me know okay, this stock has potential.
And
Because
then it gave you a hint from yesterday as well
yep,
because of that little spike right there, and then it kind of held the area.
exactly. And the same thing with DGLY because I actually bought this as well. I bought it. What at 306. So I bought it as soon as it crossed this area right here. And you could even do it like on a micro level. Like you have this triangle here.
Do when you do these plays, are you using a 1 minute candle, or are you like adjusting like 1, 2, or 1, 5? Like,
Yeah,
are you
I'll
just adjusting or just constantly just one?
I'll do 1 minute first just to see if it looks good on the 1 minute. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
I'll pull up the 5 minutes. So the more charts that you could pull up, like 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and it looks pretty much the same way, the better of a play it is. Because
Okay.
with this, like coming into the day, look, you have these volume, and it dies down. And another, like I said, the afternoons is it's a lot better for these plays. And you have this big surge here and nothing. And the good thing about it too, you could take big size on these. Cause I got in here. I was being a little bit more patient because I was trying to, I was trying to get back the gains that I lost from this morning. So when I got
Yeah.
in at like 206, I was up around here and I was contemplating taking $300 profit because I was up 10 cents with a 3,000 share position. I was up $300 like right around here, and they gave me plenty of time. So I put this line as the line in the sand. If it cracks below it, to get out. So it did. So I end up only taking $90 when I was up like 300 on here.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the patience approach.
Yeah,
That's part of the game.
but it's definitely a strategy that I'm looking forward to. I did this week what I did do differently. I did size down on it, except on Friday. But this week when I was trading it, I was only doing like $1,000 share positions, which lets you be super patient, super comfortable, and super patient with. So a lot of the plays that had I had my bigger size on, it could have easily been a couple of $1,000. Um, with $2 or $3,000 position, because these could spike, 50 cents, a dollar, $2. Like just looking at Dan Irish's, like his patient level, like some days he would, have like $5,000 position and get a full dollar move out of some of these plays. So I mean that's 5 grand right there.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get to the level of, understanding patience
Yeah. His
and
patient. Yeah. And you
uh,
need patience and when not to use patience as
exactly.
well.
But yeah, well that's pretty much what we got here for today. Definitely, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. Um, but yeah, signing off.